Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is Wellness Wednesdays with Stephanie podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Buckland, and I'm so excited to be sharing today that I'm interviewing my very good friend and colleague, Amos Campbell. Amos, thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to have you do an introduction of who you are and what you're up to and what kind of magic you're making in the world.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amos Campbell. I'm a master healer from Peoria, Arizona. My business, Health and Healing Solutions, is a full spectrum healing practice that offers massage, reflexology, reiki, and transcendental meditation.
Beautiful. And I absolutely love what you're up to. I had the pleasure of experiencing one of your bodywork sessions a couple weeks ago and just was blown away, not only by the quality of the massage, but also the information that you shared during our massage was just like awesome. So I am so excited to dive in. I would love for you to share a little bit of your journey and your why. How did you get into this healing modalities and like, what was your inspiration?
My journey starts like from the very, 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 very beginning. My father was severely injured in the coal mines back in West Virginia. Like the roof came in and collapsed on him. So they had to kind of pin and screw him back together. So not only does he have all this scar tissue in his back, but he's got all this hardware and like his hips and his shoulders and everything. So he has always had pain. So from like 3, 4 years old, he was like, "Come here, buddy, just walk on my back." Because, I was like 30, 40 pounds at that. So you can have the kid walk on the back and all that other stuff. Um, and then that just progressed to older. He's like, "Oh, my shoulder, my back, just give me that push right between the shoulders." So I would push and there would be that pop and that release, and then he would feel better. So there was always something to it. So then I became a very obese child at 15 to the point where my feet swelled and I couldn't stand. So then he would massage my feet, and then not only did the swelling go down, did my feet feel better, but my entire body felt better. So I always felt like there was something to it. Well, then things kind of progressed, and then everything ended up that I had 13 years perfect attendance in a missionary Baptist Christian school growing up gay and gifted by a neo-Nazi schizophrenic alcoholic father with no mother or siblings. So it lent a very unique need for healing and understanding because I constantly questioned everything and everybody as to why, because everybody had a viewpoint and they were very different. So I wanted to know for myself. So I've been on this healing journey very much since 18. I'm 36 now. It's been a pleasure. It's been a struggle. But mostly I can now give all this information back. So that's sort of how it started and how it's been going the whole way. So it has been on a constant trajectory up. And now I am lucky enough to, that's all I do full time, is I get to talk about healing and give healing information to people. So it's come full circle.
Wow, that is amazing. I can probably say I've had, well, not a similar journey as far as, a parent having healing issues, but when I was a kid, my mom used to have migraines and she was always looking for a massage. So I got really good doing neck massages and never really wanted to get into massage myself or body work because in my 20s I had carpal tunnel syndrome. And so anything using the hands and the wrists were pretty much out. um, but that's been like my journey has been pain as well, like a lot of chronic pain. So this has been, the reason I got into the healing field. Oh man. So lymphatic drainage and gua sha is our first subject. I would love to know a little bit more about gua sha and like your experience with lymphatic drainage.
Well, Gua sha really technically is gua sha is lymphatic drainage, but it usually is everything for the neck and the head. And you see it a lot from the aesthetics people. You see a lot of they're like rose quartz or like a crystal or whatever. I will recommend wood for training and starting, and especially if you have small children around, I will recommend like rosewood or like a teak wood, because if they drop it, it's fine. It's not going to hurt anybody or anything, and it'll, absorb your oils and become slightly more durable over time. But if they drop a crystal, it can be very sharp. Let's train on wood. That's my recommendation. But gua sha is, we usually cut your face in half and everything moves away from the midline. This is great for here in the desert of Arizona. I have suffered with chronic, constant sinus infections. And this is a natural way to drain everything, especially if your sinus infection gets into your ear. This will hook right onto your jaw and drain that eustachian tube straight down. This is really good for a lot of my clients over 50 that have had they'll have the facial surgery and stuff done, and this helps to reduce any and all of that swelling. It helps to reduce any of that jowling that happens. But again, it's really the best for sinus drainage and draining that inflammation underneath your eye. Just a nice little gentle scrape, put a little dollop of lotion or oil. And then for around the eyes, the mushroom. This is the best thing ever. Fits right between your fingers, and it is cold. Now, this is the advanced one. This is for the adults. I don't let the kids have the crystal mushroom because, again, if they drop it. And then I always pair these with a neti pot. So then you're irrigating everything from the inside, you're flushing everything from the outside. And then if you have to take your Sudafed or whatever you need, that'll help flush it out. Those are little ones for the head, but then I have this bigger one with a nice little curve to it. And then this is good for full body. So everything in lymphatic drains towards the heart. Everything goes towards the heart, away from the midline, but also towards the heart. I suffered a lot with the swollen feet, like I said, and when rub that out, and then you just take it from the ankle up the calf, and then from the knee to the groin, and then they'll flush out all that inflammation for body, for face.
Cool.
I swear, gua sha. I bought all of these over Amazon. So you can just gua sha and then, or lymphatic drainage. They'll both pull up the same types of devices.
Awesome. Okay. So I'd love to dive in a little bit about meditation as well. I know that that's something that you're very passionate about. You mentioned the violet flame. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. To me, meditation is medication for the mind. There is no wrong answer here, but this is sort of my overgeneralized starter pack. This is the very first meditation I learned, and this is from Saint Germain. He created this idea of the violet flame from the crown chakra, the violet crown, that you have a spark at the crown and it ignites just like a lighter, your violet flame. And then you visualize, usually I have a mala, uses 27 because 108 is a lot to carry around for most people. So 27 pocket mala is great to hold your focus. Nice deep breath, close, visualize that violet crown pop up, that violet flame pop up, and now just visualize that violet flame spread like wildfire through your body. But the violet flame only feeds on negative energy. So like a candle, that candle draws all that wax up, just drawing all that negative energy up, so that you're just going to feel all that negative energy dissipating, being absorbed by the violet flame. And then as that flame dissolves everything, it slowly just evaporates. And then you see that violet crown slowly close back down. And now you don't have any negative energy anywhere in your aura in that moment. It's an all-purpose meditation. It travels well. It goes well in the shower, in your designated space. That's the point for meditation, is I think people need a designated space.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. You mentioned sacred space as one of those things that people don't realize they really need. So you talked about all different names for this space. So
exactly, there's your sacred space, your special space, your prayer closet, your I'd say it's a designated space. Most people don't tend to make sandwiches in the shower. So every place has a message. And I think this is the place for the psychic toilet. This is the place where you want to go to let go and let God, let it go. But there needs to be one specific place for that.
Yeah, I agree. I have an altar myself where I keep my crystals and my little Buddha statue, and uh, that's where I sit. That's where I do my meditation. So it is definitely worth it. And it's really just a little shelf that I can sit in front of. It's not something, a whole room dedicated. Some people have a whole room for their meditation practice, or, a closet or
One
something.
day, one day when we have a house, one day.
Right. But we can improvise. I mean, there's so many things that you can do just with a little table and a chair.
Mhm. Yeah, just a special chair. Just a friend of mine has a rock in her neighborhood that she walks down the block, and there's a rock in the park. There's like 6 or 8 boulders that sit there, but it's this one rock that she likes, and that's her designated spot. That when she's on
Nice.
that rock, it's her and her higher source are communicating. And I think that's beautiful. It's outside the space. You got to have a breath to get to it, breath to get back.
Yeah,
I very much like you. I have a table in my living room.
that's cool.
There's
Yeah,
no wrong answer.
yeah, it's really amazing. When you practice and you do it regularly, how much your mind will shift, but then also your body shifts when you
Yes.
meditate regularly, so it's definitely a useful practice. It's something that I recommend personally because I've been practicing since I aged 24, and I found at first it was good for my mental health, but later on I found that it helps me achieve peace in the chaos. So it's like one of those practices that just has come with me and evolved over time.
I absolutely agree. To me, it's integral. I can't live without meditation. I have been an avid meditator since I was 21, since my Reiki journey started. When I got into energy channeling, I was finally able to do meditation, and I found the connection between the two.
Mhm.
But the meditation has become absolutely pivotal. The mindscape and the mind palace are the two sort of philosophies that I teach for people to really get them to grasp the idea, because it can be a lot. But you've got your whole, it's like your inner psyche, your inner soul is like its own planet. And that is the mindscape. It is a whole planet size. So there are continents, the continents of Stephanie, and there's the ecosystems of Stephanie. There is the oceans of Stephanie, and they're all different. And I think they all should be maintained. It's a good visual to give people a grasp. And then, of course, like a Vatican City or a Washington, D.C., or like, the Empress in the Never-Ending Story. That is your mind palace where we have our storage shed and all the daily stuff. But these things, to maintain these two things, it's a lot. To maintain a whole planet and a whole palace city like Emerald City, that's a lot of energy.
Mhm.
So it's not a small thing either. Meditation is for the mind what the gym is to the body.
Mhm.
So it's a big deal.
Most definitely. I feel like it should be taught in school. Like we should learn how to meditate when we're 5 years old so that we have this tool in our toolbox for when we do feel stress or anxiety or depression or any of the negative emotions that consume us as humans. Having something to go to practice is huge. So,
Absolutely. And that's the beauty, is that I think this is one of the bigger subjects because it's got the bigger spectrum. I teach the whole spectrum of meditation with like, that was just transcendental. That was just what I would call the 9 o'clock point. Then you have yoga, where like mind and body sort of meet. Then you have your Tai Chi,
mhm.
which is a little more physical, not so much stretch, but a little more physical, a little more breath. Then you have your Qigong, which is a little more physical. And then you have your Kung Fu, which is full physical, but for the people that I have known who have practiced, That's a meditative zone for them.
Oh yeah.
They can't hold still because to release that energy allows their mind to quiet, allows their mind to focus in one area. These are the ways it almost gets overwhelming. So I just think it just where you fall on the spectrum and the subject of the spectrum. We're becoming more and more aware of our mental health and in my opinion, the evolution of the mental spectrum. Now we can find out where you would fall and what would be best for you.
Absolutely. I think maybe even a simple questionnaire of what resonates with you most to determine which meditation practice would resonate with you most. It's not a bad idea, actually.
As a place to start, just as a place to start, like this is what we've read today. Let's try you here today. And then we have other options or other connections, referrals. I have yet to see someone go wrong. Once I introduce them to the spectrum, then they found something within a year. They don't usually always stay. Not everyone stays in yoga or transcendental, but they find something. With those 6, can't
Absolutely.
go wrong.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, thank you, Amos. I would love for you to share how people can reach you.
You can find me through LinkedIn, and I have 2 links on Facebook. You can find me Facebook directly, or I also have my business page, Health and Healing Solutions, which everything goes to me directly. I have some videos from the Global Healing Circle on YouTube,
Mhm.
and I lead the largest coven of all healers. And every full moon, we do a healing moon meditation from 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. Uh, but that's sort of you gotta be referred in.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. And do you have any final thoughts or inspiration that you'd like to share with our audience?
Designate a space, designate a chair, and start practicing mindfulness. 27 deep breaths is enough. Meditation is medication for the mind. That's my words.
Awesome. Thank you, Amos.
Thank you.